All right, folks, it's Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. Time to get the show on the road. Hey, and good morning, everybody. This is Sherman Ray. This is the Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome you all to the show this morning, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. That's right, folks. When you think of living in Vegas, think living local. I want to welcome you all to the show this morning on a fabulous Thursday. It's a little bit after Hump Day, and I want to welcome all of our friends to the show. I had a really good ride this morning, folks. I really did. Many of you know that I ride my bike pretty much every morning. Today, and it's funny, I was sick for almost 2 weeks. Really, I was almost sick for about 2 weeks, and I thought, riding this week I was going to feel terrible. So, but I feel great. I mean, I really do feel good. I feel like I've been rested and well fed and all that other stuff. So I'm very excited about it. And what are you going to do? So I'll take it every single time. So I'm going over to our Facebook pages right now. I want to welcome all the folks who are on Facebook who are joining us. Do say hello, folks. I don't mind. I'm not shy. I will actually say hello back to you if I see that you're online. And we also have a page called Livin Weekly. So our Livin Weekly page on that one. And I'm going to jump over to another page that we have. It's called Black Success Magazine. And so I post on there all the time. So many of you know I'm a Jamaican American, first generation Jamaican American. And so I'm over on that page pretty much every day posting about something about some of the cool things that folks are doing. The folks are doing. And so we're on that page also. So if you're on that page, definitely I'll be on that page also. Oh, there I am. And so we're all over the place. Plus, if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll get updated every time we update the show, which is very cool. For those of you, this might be the first time you're even coming to the show, I want to introduce myself. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the publisher of Livin in Vegas magazine. And our magazine is up quarterly. This particular magazine, Livin in Vegas magazine, is up quarterly. And we some great stories in there. I mean, really, there's some great stories. On the cover here, Greg and Kristen Berta. And they're only going to be there for a couple more weeks. I mean, and then we actually have the new cover coming out. And so definitely check them out, folks. They're owners of Junk Luggers. They're one of our premier advertisers for Livin in Vegas magazine, and we want to wish them the best. They've been a fantastic couple, and so we've been advertising them for months now and letting everybody know how cool they are and what they do. We also publish a magazine called Livin Weekly magazine, and this is the cover for Livin Weekly magazine. The murals of downtown Las Vegas, very cool. No, I mean they're, and if you've been watching us on any of one of our pages, whether it be Livin in Vegas page or the magazine page or Livin Weekly, we've been updating those pages pretty consistently with pictures of. I'm on the wrong page here. I don't know what that is. We've been pretty consistent about putting pictures of the downtown area. So we have murals all over the town. I mean, all over. As a matter of fact, when I went out riding this morning, I was coming down Washington because I was way up in Summerlin, and I was coming down Washington and Buffalo area, and people are painting on everything. If they can find something to paint on, they're painting on it. So in this particular issue of Livin Weekly magazine, which you can go to, find it on Livin in Vegas magazine.com. We've got a ton of these murals, some of the best in town. I mean, some are better than the others. Some are, pretty rudimentary, but some of them are really very, very good. So we want to encourage you to check those out. So we'll be back in just a second, folks. We'll get on with the show because I got a lot of stuff to talk about today for Livin in Vegas magazine. This is Sherman Ray. We'll talk to you in just a second. Hi, everybody. It's Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. Are you a business owner that's looking to get the word out about his product, service, or even just a great message out there? Well, we'd like to give you that opportunity by being a guest on Livin in Vegas podcast. It's super simple. All you've got to do is contact us at advertising@livininvegas.com. That's advertising@livininvegas.com, and we'll schedule you for an interview on Livin in Vegas podcast. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast, where we talk about the people, the places, the trends, and the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. That's right, folks. When you think of living in Vegas, think living local. And one more thing before we get going here, folks, because there's quite a bit of stuff on there. And I'm on our, for some reason, Facebook. I'm trying to look at our group page for Living in Vegas. And for some reason, Facebook continues to send me back to a really weird page. I don't know what it is, but we won't do that anymore. But if you've got something you want to talk to me about on any one of our pages on Facebook, definitely reach out to me and we will actually talk to you. As a matter of fact, I mentioned something about a friend of mine earlier in the week, Monday. His name is Tom McCourt. And Tom McCourt is over at UMC. I don't know if he's there now. Let me double check. I've got to check with him. He's actually supposed to go to a rehab facility. And Tom has been in and out of the hospital for literally months. If you're an attorney and you practice medical malpractice, contact me. Okay? I mean, seriously. Because Tom has just been run, put through the ringer. And you shouldn't have to do this. I mean, he went in for a COVID shot, and then it went downhill from there. Okay? Part of it was COVID. Part of it was the shot. Part of it was the facilities that he's going through. But he seems to have a hard time finding somebody to take up his case. So if you're an attorney, you practice medical malpractice, contact me, info@livininvegas. Connect you with Tommy McCourt. Tam. Love him. He's a great guy. Really is. So Livin Expos, Vegas Livin Expos. This is a great opportunity for you as a business owner. If you'd like to be a vendor at one of our expos, love to have you there, folks. Really, our next one, or actually our first one, August 3rd. Okay, it's going to be August 3rd. Here, put that up one more time. Okay, August 3rd, we're going to be over at the, what's the name of the place? Cannery Hotel and Casino. Got a great space. Really do. Very excited about that. And so sign-ups are now. We're actually going to probably run a special here, so I'm not going to tell you about it yet, but we're going to run a special for early birds folks, okay? Early vendors. So if you do home decor, renovations, interiors, paint, that whole thing, anything having to do with your home, and especially right now, home values have gone through the roof, rental prices are through the roof, and nobody can afford to move. You really can't. And I would have never thought that would happen here in Las Vegas, but it has, where it's just so expensive to live any place. But, and I'll tell you something very cool. So we've got an article that we're going to be putting out in the next coming Livin in Vegas magazine. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this. Okay, I really am. Because I'm thinking about this. We were at a election result party Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday it was. Victoria Seaman. And Victoria Seaman, for those of you probably know who she is, she's a city council person for Ward 2 here in Las Vegas. Great person. She really is. And so we were talking to some friends, and I noticed, now I'm from Jersey, originally from New Jersey, and I've lived here in Vegas my entire life, but I was not born here. I was born in New Jersey. And so I've been noticing a lot of people from the East Coast, Midwest, Florida, especially California, moving here to Vegas. And so I mentioned this to a friend of mine. I said she's from New York. And there's a lot of New Yorkers here. I mean, a lot of New Yorkers, a lot of people from New Jersey here. And I go, oh, Vegas is the new Boca. I know. So some of you who've lived in New York, you know, I'm gonna move. When I retire, I'm gonna move to Boca. Okay, where does mom live at? She lives in Boca. Okay, you live in Boca Raton, Florida. Well, Vegas has become the new Boca. And why is Vegas the new Boca? Well, it's because we have so many things to offer. The same thing as Florida, but without the big bugs. So you can imagine people love it. And that's really what people keep telling me. They're saying, look, we love Vegas because it's got everything Florida has without all the big flies and the humidity. Now, it's hot. It can definitely get hot here. There's no doubt about it. Like today, I think it's going to be up to 108, 130, something like that. But you can get around that. You really can. There's no law that says you have to be outside 24/7, any place. And if you do, you can. I was out this morning. I was out for a couple hours this morning. But of course, when I'm out, it's really there's no light. It starts out dark. It becomes light later, but you know, there's no law that says you have to be out in the blazing sun. Okay, and if you've lived here in Vegas any length of time, you know the blazing sun starts now. Starts at about 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 to about 3. Don't even go outside. No, but it's only 5 hours out of your day. Vegas has sun for what 320 days. Yeah, out of 360 days, 65 days, we have sun for about 320 of those. So we're pretty darn ideal. We really are. So we're the new Boca. So we're going to be writing an article about that for the Livin in Vegas magazine. I hope you enjoy it. I really do. It should be very cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on here in Vegas. Let's talk about the elections. We'll get that out of the way because the elections that we had here in town were just they were just Tuesday, and if you've been keeping up with it, folks, you know that we had mail-in ballots. They're going to take a few more days. Generally, it's 4 days after the election that they have to be in. They said basically because of the amount of people who use the mail-in ballots, that it's going to take longer. I don't know how much longer, but that's one of the consequences of having mail-in ballots. Now, I used the mail-in ballot. My wife and I did. We actually went to the polling place, dropped the mail in right then and there. Okay, so it wasn't like we went to some off-site someplace and dropped it in, or had somebody come to our house and ballot harvest, something like that. But so we dropped it off at the polling place, and we hope that it went straight in. But they say that there's going to be a problem with it. Along those lines, though, still keeping with the whole idea of the election, for our governor's race, many of you know Joe Lombardo he got the most votes and will go on to go against Steve Sisolak, our current governor. And the person who came in second place, former boxer and an attorney, his name is Joey Gilbert. He came in second place. And Joey Gilbert says, hey, I'm not giving up. I'm not conceding, which, you can understand. So Lombardo led Gilbert 38% to 28%, which is a 10-point swing. You're not going to make that up. It's not going to happen. So Lombardo easily carried Clark County, solidifying his win. Associated Press called the race after midnight. Okay, so in a race where it is a what do you call it? Political race. Excuse me. It's a partisan race. So Republican or Democrat. It's generally, so if it's a nonpartisan race and you're running if you don't get 51% of the vote, the two top people will go on to the general election. Okay, but if it's a partisan race, which means a Republican or Democrat, whoever is the guy who had the most votes at that time goes on to face the other guy who's in the other party. They go to the general election. Okay, in this case, Joe Lombardo, who is our current sheriff, got 38% of the vote. There was at least 13, 14 Republicans that were running for office, and Joe Lombardo, won. Well, Joey Gilbert says, no, not going to do it. So, um, Joey Lombardo is in a Facebook post. He said he's questioning the integrity of the results. Okay. So the state party, the Nevada GOP, endorsed Joey Gilbert. Okay, which means at a convention, they polled all the people that were there, who were I forgot the name for it actually, but at the state convention there are people who actually represent Clark County and Nye County and all this other stuff. Okay, and it's a state election thing. Well, Donald Trump endorsed Joe Lombardo. Okay, and he endorsed him quite a long ago. There's quite a few people that Donald Trump endorsed, but the people who voted at the election for the state party. Now, this is not who the state party endorsed. The state party endorsed whoever Donald Trump endorsed, which was Joe Lombardo. But the people who voted there, who came from all over the state, and they came into this convention, they wanted Joey Gilbert, and it is what it is. Okay, so just because you are a person who has come from the state, all around the state, and you say you like this guy, it really doesn't count. Really, what counts, folks, are the people who vote. The people who voted said, we want Joe Lombardo. Okay? And that's just the way it is. So, but Joey Gilbert says he's not going to give up, and that's kind of the way it is. In other news, how much time do we have? Okay, I'm going to do one more story, and then if you want to watch the rest of this, folks, just go to our website. Okay, go to our website, which is livininvegas.com. You can watch the rest of it. I know everybody's really busy today. I got a real busy day today too, because we're starting to finalize the Livin in Vegas magazine for coming up for July, and we got a lot of stuff we got to put in. There's a lot of stuff to pack in, a lot of stuff. What do we want to do? Oh, let's do this story. So many of you watch our lovely Las Vegas Aces, and I'll tell you, these girls are just rock stars. They're such rock stars. They won again. Okay, they beat the Dallas Wings 92-84, and we could not say more. You can't say much more. That was a Wednesday's game, and man, they just spanked them. They actually started out slow. It looks like first quarter was 23-14, and then by the next quarter, they had come alongside of them with the amount of scoring. Third quarter, that's when the Aces took off. They really did. They just really started putting pedal to the metal, and then coasted basically all the way through the fourth quarter to win the game. Who were the high scorers in the game? High scorers in the game looks like points. Asia Wilson. No, excuse me. Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum had 27 points. Asia Wilson had 25. Then pulling up the rear was Chelsea Gray and Dearica Hamby. I love Dearica. I just love her. She's a phenomenal. I think she's like the unsung hero. I really do. I love Jackie Young. She's a point guard. She's coming off some physical things, but you cannot not love Dearica Hamby. Okay, she's the new one. She's the new hotness. So that's the way it is. We'll actually put a lot of this stuff online. I've got a ton of stuff we're going to talk about in the second segment of the show. If you would like to watch the rest of the show, folks, and we really encourage you to go to our website at livininvegas.com. And just scroll down the page a little bit, and it'll be at the bottom of the page where we have an archive of all of our shows. Also, I encourage you, if you would like to get a copy of Livin in Vegas magazine, Livin Weekly magazine, comes out every week, be a part of our newsletter, the whole thing, send us your contact information to info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com, and we'll put you on our mailing list. And we get this tons of stuff I talk about, and we mail it out every day, so you can keep up with all of the cool things that we talk about. Okay, so I really encourage you to do that. Anyways, We are going to be. Oh, sorry. Let's stop that. Oh, sorry. Uh, let's. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks. Where we'll talk about the people, places, the trends, events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of living in Vegas, folks, think living local. I'm Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks. Make sure, folks, if you want to watch the rest of the show, check us out at our website at livininvegas.com. We'll see you again. Bye-bye. All right, and we are back, folks. This is Sherman Ray. This is Livin in Vegas podcast. I want to welcome all you folks back to the show, and hope that you're enjoying today. I know I am. I'm really having a good day today. As a matter of fact, in the first half of the show, we were talking about when I went out riding this morning, and I go out riding every day, and this my new habit for the rest of the summer is going to be going up Lake Mead Boulevard. Going up Lake Mead Boulevard, which means going west up Lake Mead Boulevard, is quite a steep ride. Not just a little steep, it's a lot steep. And so, but the Tour de France is coming to Las Vegas fairly soon. I want to be in shape for it. And I'm not a hill climbing rider. Okay, I can ride flat for miles, literally miles, and I will catch you. Okay, because I'm pretty fast. But riding hills is not my big thing. So I've been riding hills for at least a year now. Normally it's Lone Mountain Road, so I generally ride up Lone Mountain Road. It's fairly steep, not as steep as Lake Mead though. Lake Mead Boulevard is a very steep hill, and so I'm riding that a lot. So today I rode it. I felt great. I mean, just great, strong like bull. So thought I'd tell you that. So let's get on with some more stuff that we've got. We don't have a lot of time left, but we want to definitely get to a couple of the stories that are out. So Las Vegas is launching How to Be in Vegas, a campaign highlighting Pride tourism. So we all know that June is Pride Month, and they celebrate the accomplishments of the LGBTQIA plus. They're going to add so many letters to this thing. I just don't know how many. Lesbian, gay, bi, transsexual. I don't know what the other ones are. QIA plus, whatever that is. So they are celebrating all the accomplishments, and the city is actually doing a campaign, and they started it actually quite a while ago, and they are continuing to talk about some of the things that are available through the gay community, the LGBTQIA plus community, and they'll be doing bar crawls and stuff that's going to be happening at the MGM properties and kind of stuff like that. So be looking for that, and then we'll actually put a lot of this on our website, so you'll actually be able to check this out and see what else is going on. In other news, folks, in the city of Las Vegas, we have a lot of homeless people. And growing up, I didn't realize how many homeless people we had. We actually have a lot of homeless people here in Las Vegas. And as a result of it, during the summer months, so it's not as bad during the winter and the spring and the fall, that kind of stuff. It's really not that bad for the homeless because we actually have such great weather here. But during the summer, it can be brutal. Not just bad, it can be brutal. And it can actually almost to the point where people can die. Because you get up 108 degrees, 110, 118 degrees, and you're down in the tunnels that are below the city and part of the infrastructure, and it can be bad. So what's happening is Metro is going around, and they're telling people, hey, look, guys, we've got places for you. We really do. We're not here to arrest you because there's no law against being homeless. But what we're doing is they're going out and they are looking at the drainage ditches, some of the places that these folks are hanging out. And I know over near my place, there's the Las Vegas Wash. Okay, I think this might help people. The Las Vegas Wash has two um, two main drainage areas, and it starts basically on the west side of the valley, where you actually have a tunnel or a system of tunnels that carries all of the over water, the water that might come from the mountains, and it takes it all the way down. It comes in basically two veins. One's on the northern side of the valley, the other one's towards the middle uh, southern side of the valley. And one's called the Las Vegas Wash, the other one's called the Flamingo Wash. And they kind of go down the city and they kind of wind through the valley and that kind of stuff. And then they'll come back together down at the Vegas Wash, down at the south end of the valley, southeastern part of the valley, near Lake Mead, and then it empties into Lake Mead. So that's how the water, I know, all the things you learn. All the things you learn by watching Livin in Vegas podcast. That's right, folks. You will learn so much on this show. Um, and I'll tell you even this. Okay, so it also, the Las Vegas Wash empties into the wetlands area, and it's basically a natural filter. It's just a natural filtration system that dumps into Lake Mead, and then Lake Mead, they have the water filtration and they do all this stuff. And pretty much 100% of our water that we use gets back into our sanitation system, cleaned up, and we drink it again. So, anyways, that being said, those tunnels and those systems that are under all the cities or around the city are places where homeless people hang out. A lot of homeless people hang out because a lot of those places are underground. Well, once again, it can be very, very dangerous, especially if it floods, especially if something happens or it just gets hot. Dang. So the city is going down there and trying to save lives. They're just trying to save lives. And so say a prayer for those folks. Okay, just because it's not as breezy, it's not as airy down there as you think. Do we have time for one more? No, I don't. Shoot. Okay. What am I going to say? Oh, okay. So there was a case of monkeypox reported in the valley. Okay, I got time to say that. There was, this was reported yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And they said one guy. Now, many of you know monkeypox is a very, very rare disease, generally transmitted through, it's generally in the homosexual community, and it's associated with, sexual contact. So it's very rare if you're going to ever get it. Generally, unless you're having sex with somebody, you're probably not going to get it. Evidently, some guy, the outbreak, they said, actually happened as a result of a rave that they had out in Europe. And so they were tracing all these guys. One of them actually got here to Las Vegas, of course. We've got to have a guy here in Vegas. Communicable, yes. Proximity, yes. You have to be really... Generally, it's got to be pretty intimate contact with somebody. So don't worry about it, folks. Just know that it is here in Las Vegas. It's called monkeypox. You definitely can tell if somebody's got it because they generally have sores and stuff like that. They will get over it. Generally, it's about a 4-6 week process of it going through their system. If you do get it, just stay home, please. Just stay home. Okay, stay home. It is not worth infecting everybody else and their mama because you want to go out of your house. Okay, just stay at home. Okay. But we wanted to make sure you knew all about that. Anyways, I want to remind you once again, folks, about Livin in Vegas magazine. If you'd like your copy of Livin in Vegas magazine, just send me an email to info@livininvegas.com. That's info@livininvegas.com. And we'll get that for you. Or you can just go to our website at livininvegas.com. Livininvegas.com. And right on the sidebar, you'll see a copy of Livin in Vegas magazine and Livin Weekly magazine. Okay. Also, you can get more of archives of our podcast, articles, updates, events, the whole shebang. Okay, just go to our website, livininvegas.com, and that'll be it. Anyways, this has been Sherman Ray for Livin in Vegas podcast. We'll be back again tomorrow where we'll talk about the people, places, the trends, the events that shape the city of Las Vegas. When you think of Livin in Vegas, folks, think Livin local. This has been Sherman Ray. We'll see you again tomorrow, folks. Bye-bye.